Hello, friends. My name is Steve Guttenberg, and I am the audiophiliac. You know, in the continuing saga of analog versus digital, I'm going to try this a slightly different way. I think recordings that started out analog, let's say, to make it simple, everything before the 1980s, let's say, to paint with a broad brush, almost all recordings before 1980 were analog, and then starting in the 80s, digital comes in and it becomes more and more the standard way that recordings are made. Not all recordings. There's a slow transition, but you could sort of say that 1980 mark is where it starts to change. So I'm just saying here that recordings that started out as analog recordings, analog mixing, analog mastered, came out on LP, that the best way to hear that music, to use the cliche, as the artist intended, would be on an LP. Preferably an earlier pressing of that LP before it was remastered and digitally remastered and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the gist of it. And yes, the opposite is true, that recordings that were recorded digitally and probably mixed digitally and mastered digitally, well, listen to them as files or as CDs. Now that would include certainly virtually all new recordings, even ones that come out on LP today, were still recorded on digital something or other, right? So I'm painting with a broad brush here, but I think that staying with the original recording, mixing, and mastering format just makes sense in terms of the sound, you know, that basically the band and the producer had a hand in doing. Now, sometimes recordings that are later remastered, and usually digitally remastered, where the producer and or the band is involved, well, they're certainly going to change it. In some ways they could make it better, some ways not, you know, so it can be hit or miss there. But I'm saying there's so much great music before 1980. There's a lot of great music after 1980. This rule sort of works for me. I'm not 100% on it. I'm just saying it's an approach. That's basically what I'm doing here. There's no hard and fast rules to go contrary to what I just said either. Play CDs of pre-1980 music, play vinyl of post-1980 music. Works too. But I just think there's a truth in the way it came out the first time. That's it. That's the gist of what I'm saying here. You may feel differently, of course, and that's what comments are for. They're right down there. Leave some, please. Disagree with me? Absolutely. Be my guest. I welcome disagreement. I actually enjoy people who disagree with me. Point out something I've missed here. Please do it. I'm not being sarcastic. I really mean it. Do it. Anyway, Steve Guttenberg here. Can't pronounce my own name. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Please subscribe if you like this sort of thing, and I'll see you soon.